So, like always, I'm going to start off today with a quote. The quote is Know thyself, and thou shalt know the universe and the gods. Welcome to Higher Humans. I'm Kyle, and in this podcast, we dive deep into the pursuit of truth, knowledge, the journey of self discovery, and healing the mind and soul. Together, we'll explore what it truly means to know ourselves and evolve into the higher beings we're meant to be. Stay tuned. Your transformation starts here. What's up, guys? Today, I'm super excited about today's topic. I'll be introducing the mission of Higher Humans. So, we're going to talk a little bit about where this idea came from, what sparked it, and we're going to get into really why I decided to launch this project. And it's finally becoming something that I'm comfortable with doing. Obviously, I had to overcome a lot of fear to even, get here, put my face on the camera. But a little context about where this idea came from, why even start something like this? And it really began, I would say 13 years ago when I had that awakening, that spiritual awakening, that dark night of the soul, that moment where you feel like you want to die. And it really prompted this deep longing for knowledge and to understand what was really going on inside of me. And so I started researching, I started reading every Carl Jung book I could put my hand on. I jumped really deep into philosophy and started to understand the universe from a point of view or a perspective that I had never, ever thought about or was even taught in my life. And I remember realizing the moment where everything I thought or everything I believed that I thought I was true was completely false. And so that started this insane journey of researching, getting into spirituality, reading the Bible, trying to understand, what it is, this reality that I was taught. What was it? And so Higher Humans came about. I remember I was laying in bed back in like 2017, feeling sorry for myself. And I closed my eyes and I just had this idea of, okay, Kyle, like you're gaining all this knowledge. What are you going to do with it? And the words higher humans came to mind. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll save this for later. Maybe it's important. I didn't know it would turn into something like this. And yeah, I continued to just research, do spiritual work, did ayahuasca, do shadow work, looking into all of the psychology, the nature of things, how reality worked. And I realized, that I had to let go of all of these beliefs that I thought were real, especially Christianity. That was a big one. But I started digging deeper into the nature of reality and realized that there is a solution to all of the woes that's happening on planet Earth, right? And so the mission of Higher Humans is awakening, healing, expansion, evolving, and guiding humanity towards its next evolutionary leap. But to do that, we have to challenge outdated paradigms. And so Higher Humans Higher Humans empowers you with knowledge and tools for deep self-awareness and collective harmony. So in future episodes, I'm going to be talking about things like secrets of the universe, trauma, religious trauma, healing, expanded consciousness. We're going to get into very deep conceptual ideas about what is actually real. Are our beliefs real, or have we been just conditioned to believe things? But the main idea and the main mission is to look at the things that aren't working. And if you were to look around right now, the world is burning. And so I'm creating this platform with this mission to provide knowledge of what is, so people can understand the deeper aspects of life, so we can get to a place where there can be some sense that we all belong here. And I'm going to really start breaking down concepts and ideas that will help us get there. In order for us to change and go forward, we need to know exactly what is in the way. And so most people think what's in the way is, oh, there's just bad people in the world and they're crazy. And yeah, I grew up thinking the same thing too. But the more I started looking into psychology and philosophy, rational idealism, spiritual concepts, universal concepts, hermeticisms, and understanding the way we're programmed, everything shifted. And I started to see a bigger picture of where we can go if we understood the things that are holding us back, the old paradigms of thought, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit more about what does it mean to be a higher human. And so a higher human is someone that sees and understands the fundamental principles of why the world is the way it is right now. How did we even get here? The systems of beliefs and thoughts that got us here. But a higher human is also a person that sees the path to creating a united whole, and then we do something about it. A lot of this podcast is going to be about objective knowledge and understanding logic and reason and why things don't make sense and what are the current systems in place right now that are literally holding us back from being a higher human's humanity, in a sense, or a higher human society. And we're going to dissect different topics like capitalism, government, spirituality, psychology, trauma, healing. And I know this is a very big goal, but I can literally see how we can begin slowly to transform the world for it to be a more united place. And so, why is it so fundamentally important to know and understand how we got here? Well, in short, if, like I said before, if you can't really change anything that you don't understand why it is the way it is. So we're going to again dive deep into conceptual conditionings of the psyche and what beliefs were put here or given to us that's creating a shit show, hell on earth. So many people are suffering. And it really, if you deduce back down to fundamental principles, use deductive reasoning, it comes down to the things we believe and not the things we know. The things we believe, we think we know, but the beliefs are the only thing that creates the separateness. That's the only thing that the human race is separated by, is what we believe. And these beliefs have created the systems that created these beliefs create so much disconnection in the world. Materialism, um, divisiveness, consumerism, all these things that don't align with the natural harmonic flow of hu- humans and a society in the world. We have all the technology and all the money in the world to fix everything. And yet it's not fixed. We've had religion for thousands of years, and yet it's still not fixed. We have capitalism, still not fixed. But these systems were also put here to keep us in a state of separateness so we can easily be controlled. And it's actually these big systems like capitalism, religion, mostly Abrahamic religion, that keep us completely entangled. We're completely controlled, but they've used a system of beliefs. They're not controlling us with, well, they are controlling us with laws, physical laws, and using social media, but they're also controlling us with the fundamental beliefs, our fundamental ideas of what reality is. They're literally telling us what to believe and what to think about what is real when there's no proof it's real. And so they've created conditions to keep us ignorant, honestly, right? And so one of my favorite quotes is by Plato. He says, "Ignorance is the root and stem of all evil." And we're going to talk a little bit about that. What ignorance of what? Well, from what I see and what I know, it's ignorance to what is real. It's ignorance to the knowledge of life, knowledge of what it means to be alive, the knowledge of what it means to exist, the knowledge of how the minds of humans work, the knowledge of the way the mind is programmed, right? And so the world is burning, and it's because we are ignorant to life at its fundamental core. We have conflicting beliefs about reality that have been conditioned in us to keep us separated. And I will continue to repeat this. The only thing that separates humans are what we believe. And that is where all the conflict comes from. And so the idea of the Higher Humans podcast, the mission is to look deeply within the self, look at our beliefs, figure out what we are. When I say the word self, I don't mean the idea of yourself. I mean the big picture self, the soul, the psyche, the whole psyche. And so I think the the conditioned beliefs that divide us, the religion, the capitalism, materialism, class, culture, even culture, the list goes on. That isn't who you are. That's who you were told to be. And so you align your identity with those things. And on this podcast, we're going to challenge all of these things so we can come up with different solutions, different ways of thinking, logical, rational ways of thinking, understanding how the universe naturally thinks so we can align ourselves with it. I like to use this metaphor that I came up with. It's like everything is energy and frequency, which means at our core, our soul level, our psyche level, everything is frequency. And what we're trying to do is learn how to tune the instrument ourselves to play the music with the band. The band is the whole universe. The band is all of the people. And so we're learning to play and tune our instruments so we can play and harmonize with the collective. And in order to do that, you have to understand the theory of the music. So in this podcast, we're going to understand the knowledge of what is. And I think that's important. And this is a huge picture. It's going to take hundreds, maybe, yeah, hundreds of episodes to paint this big picture of how we can begin to align with our inner selves, but also the things we need, the structures externally that we need to change to actually become a place where we can actually create heaven on earth. And waking up to the knowledge I'm going to share of learning how to integrate your unconscious, your personal unconscious, and then the collective unconscious, waking up to higher aspects of our being, getting in contact and aligning with different archetypes that are innately a part of this journey and innately in part of our psyche. We're going to learn about the connection between the personal and societal transformations that need to happen. So in order for things to change, we must understand that way of change to create the heaven on earth, we must find out what is truly creating the hell on earth first. And deductive with enough deductive reasoning, it comes down to our programmed beliefs about reality and life, the ignorance of life, and the external systems that perpetuate separation. Capitalism, religion, etc. So I think this time we're living in, and right now, it's super, super important for us to wake up to our higher aspects of being. Like, shit is backwards. If you pay attention to what's going on in the news, and the world is burning, it is upsetting to look that in 2024, there's so much suffering. There's so many identity politics. There's so much religion. There's all these things that don't make any fucking sense, especially for those of you who are awakening to awakening from the slumber, the dream, to seeing things for what they really are. And for me, being an empathetic person, I feel it. And I'm just like, how are we not understanding this? What is the main thing that keeps us here in this loop of disconnection and separation? And if you realize it, everyone is, the saying, everyone is fighting for what they believe, but no one's fighting for what they know. It's all a belief. And if there's a truth of why we're all here, and I know there is, truth is one that never changes. Why don't we get knowledge of the truth instead of believing what we've been told? If we are all aligned with the same knowledge of what is, there would be no need to believe anything, and we would be all in alignment. There needs to be an emphasis on the inner connection and understanding the things out in society that distract us and keep us in a state of always wanting more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more, but I think the deeper reason is if it's coming from a place of lack or fear, shame, it's never a sustainable thing, because unless you deal with those core things, you always just want more because you don't want to feel that thing and you don't want to face why it's there. So a few of the things that I'm going to talk about throughout this journey of the Higher Humans podcast, the movement, we're going to get really deep into truth and knowledge and what it really means to know. We're going to contrast a lot between belief and knowledge and how those beliefs shape our mental reality and how it shows up in our external reality. We're going to talk about universal concepts. We're going to talk about education and the idea of how different minds, different souls are attracted to different things. We're going to get into the Myers-Briggs. We're going to get into psychology, especially Jungian psychology. New ideas for government, how a society should be ran. We're going to get into Rousseau, who wrote a book about, I can't even remember the name right now. It's slipping my mind, but new ideas of government, why capitalism does not work. It's such a, that's the one that really bothers me. It's like, it's such a big system. It's such a big concept. It's like literally how the world is ran, but it's not sustainable. It's only effective and benefits really the rich, the elites of the world. They control capital. And I'm going to say something here that really is going to maybe piss people off. But if you think about it, the reason there's poverty is because rich people cause it. Super simple. They hoard the resources that they sell back to the people with money. And so we're going to talk about different ideas, different ways we can improve. We're going to talk about healing trauma, doing shadow work, emotional intelligence, energy healing, psychic work, tarot, whatever. Anything that helps bring or alerts the unconscious mind to see things differently, that can prompt things from the unconscious so we can become more aware and self-realized. We're going to talk about individuation, spiritual evolution, hermeticism, rational idealism, mathematics, whatever, atheism. We're going to talk about logical absolutes. We're going to talk about the idea of God, because I think that's one of the biggest reason there's so much hell on earth is because man, a very bright man or bright men invented a God. And so we strive so much to be like him. And yet we don't understand that God, the idea of God is also how we give away our power to look within ourselves. We're going to talk about practical tools. I want this to be a place where people can come and find what tools, what divination tools, what healing tools, what modalities would be best for them. They can listen to episodes, they can join the community where we have access to different experts and different practitioners and modalities that you can reach out to and start to understand or align with what talks to you. I'm big into psychotherapy, but that may not work for other people. So somatic work, Gestalt, DBT, any of these. And so I want Higher Humans to be a place where people come to see the truth and wake up. So the vision for this project is to wake you up to knowing what you truly are, not who you believe you are or who you were told to be, but what you truly are. What are you? Not who are you? And from there, with the right knowledge, you can create yourself in a way that is an alignment for what we really need on this planet as a society, as a government, as artists, as education, like whatever it is, to align with a place, with politics. I want us to align in a place that is in harmony with everything. But in order for us to get there, we have to break down the structures that got us here. And really start to question our identities. Why is it that we believe so much in Christianity or a, any Abrahamic religion that tells you that God is out there, outside of you? These systems, the conditioning is brilliant. And the mission here is to just have a place where people can come, support, learn, ask questions, and really start to transform from the inside out. In order to understand anything, you need knowledge, and it has to be congruent with reality. So imagine what a world of higher humans would look like: harmony, cooperation, wisdom, knowledge, enlightenment, a government that's run by, I'll use a term that Plato uses in the Republic, philosopher kings, people who have merit and honor and aren't in it for money and status, so they can feel worthy for themselves, so they can act and put on their mask like they did something, because their accolades are are what matters, what makes them feel good. And there's nothing wrong with accolades making you feel good. But if you're only in it to show where you can get to in government, but you're not actually performing the work you need to perform for the people, then you're misguided. And when money gets involved, and, you know, not just money, wealth and high life, it starts to distract us from what we're really here to do. And we're here to move ourselves in a direction that benefits all life, all humans. And so I invite you guys to just listen to these podcasts, share them, you know, share your journey, share where you are in your journey, share what it looks like, ask questions, and share the aspects of yourself that you're working on in the present moment, so we can create a place that generations from now will look back and be like, oh, those people made an impact on the world. And I know this sounds hippie like, but I can literally see what it would take for humans to evolve, the information they need to know, what kind of knowledge they need to have, the way to think, and the things they need to get rid of. But that is part of it's the most difficult transformation. I'm still far away from reaching that actualized self Kyle. But I will say the journey that I've been on so far has been super insane, intense, lots of tears, lots of facing my own darkness. And the hardest thing to do was to lose or let go of my conditioned identity. And it's hard to walk away from the only thing you know to into an unknown place that you don't know. And your ego wants you to stay safe, but the life starts to happen in the unknown. And so you get to create it. And so here I am, after almost 8 years of having this higher humans idea, I'm creating myself to be the person that I think I'm supposed to be, or I know I'm supposed to be. And it's been the scariest shit I've ever done to get up here and spew these grandiose ideas and say that I know, but I've put in my 10,000 hours to understand and see what we need to do to actually help ourselves and help each other and help the next generation. We need to dissolve the ignorance we have of knowledge of the truth. So I just want to recap this mission. Again, it's to awaken, heal, expand, evolve, and guide humanity towards the next evolutionary step or evolutionary leap. And to do that, we need to challenge outdated paradigms. Higher Humans empowers you or empowers the individuals with knowledge and tools for deep self-awareness and collective harmony. I want this to be a place where you can gather knowledge and find tools, modalities. And so guys, look out for the future episodes. I'm going to have a human design practitioner come on in a week. I'm going to have people with religious trauma. I'm going to talk about universal secrets. I'm going to talk about contradictions, everything we need to understand to see ourselves. And so if this makes any sense to you, I'm inviting you for this to join me on this journey, because I think we need it. And so I'm just asking for you to subscribe, leave feedback, and share the podcast with others. This is going to become a movement. There will be merch soon. And so I just want to invite you guys to start your journey towards self-discovery and understanding the bigger picture of reality, and really start expanding your consciousness. I appreciate you guys for listening. Take care.